Thank you LEGO for sending these sets for review. LEGO Harry Potter is back at it with a full wave of magic-filled bricks, with not so many Hogwarts Castle sets this time around, with only 2, which I will be reviewing in today's video. LEGO Hogwarts Castle, the main tower continues building upon the so-called most detailed Hogwarts Castle ever, with perhaps one of the largest structures we'll get to see coming out of this modular system, I feel. This thing is huge and dwarfs in height every other castle set so far. But before going into those details, the minifigure lineup matches the size of the product, with 12 included plus a few creatures. The first-year trio of Harry, Ron and Hermione wearing the clothes from when they went down the trapdoor on Philosopher's Stone hints at some of the stuff we'll find inside the castle. Then we have a few students, Lisa Turpin, Ernie Macmillan, Dean Thomas and Percy Weasley, with standard Hogwarts uniforms, each representing 3 of the 4 Hogwarts houses. Neville with his pajamas, and a Slytherin representation, Marcus Flint, with a Quidditch outfit. Nearly Headless Nick represents the ghosts, having great prints overall with hints of silver and that cool pleated collar element I don't remember ever seeing before. On the teacher's side of things we have Professor Kettleburn, to my knowledge never featured in the movies and only mentioned by name when replaced by Hagrid in the role of Caramagical creatures. Then there's Albus Dumbledore, of course, with yet another flashy and amazingly detailed outfit, which then leads us to the main tower build. It rests on top of rock formations with a style matching that of the Great Hall set, as they are meant to be connected, though exactly where isn't made very clear. What makes sense for me is this spot here, though the instructions or the box have the Great Hall coming forward a lot more. But whichever way you decide to connect the two sets, there will always be areas of the castle not as easily accessible or not accessible at all. And there's always the fact that depending on the angle you have this at, the Great Hall will be exposed against the outside of the main tower. I don't know, maybe later down the line this will be communicated in a more clear way, but as of now I find it confusing as I'm not sure what we should be compromising. Accessibility? Looks? Play? I don't know. As I said before, the build is really impressive, as it is quite tall, and the top tower even required a new-to-me quarter-cone gigantic element in dark grey. There's a fair amount of detail on the outside, but turning the model around reveals what this is mostly all about: the challenges put in place to safeguard the Philosopher's Stone. At the base level there's 2 removable rooms, which you can replace with classroom sets from other waves if you wish. One of the ones included here features the chess challenge, with a quarter of a chessboard, as a full board would obviously take way too much space, and a few pieces where the knights are very obvious, and then I wanna say we have the kings, queens and bishops. The black knight has studs for Ron to assume his spot, and there's a few cheese slopes on the ground representing the chess pieces that have already perished. The room next to it features the Winged Keys challenge, with a few of them spread around and a broom at the center. The room can be expanded a little by opening its sides, and to play out the flying to catch the right key, a minifigure can be attached to the broom and we can rotate the center pillar where some of those details are supported. The next room is the Devil's Snare one, which makes more sense if we go up a floor first, where Fluffy the 3-headed dog is guarding the trapdoor. The creature itself is quite impressive, made out of a larger body piece, some regular Lego bricks and then 3 molded heads with printed eye and nose details. They use the dino lower jaw elements in brown, but even with a fingernail it is extremely hard to get it to open, which I'm not very fond of. Fluffy's room has a brick-built ARP used to put it to sleep, and then the trapdoor leading to the Devil's Snare room. Outside, there's an assembly you can move up and down, connected to a simple mechanism that makes the plant rotate, which is a cool way to replicate what happens in the story. The grand staircase takes most of the tower interior, spanning across 3 floors worth of space, using a lot of the wall area for portraits, mostly stickers, but there's a few of those collectible portrait tiles in here as well, 5 in this section alone. The thing about the grand staircase, as you're aware, is that a lot of its flights of steps move, which is also true in this lower section here, leading to either the fixed staircase in the back or the entrance to Gryffindor's common room, with the fat lady's portrait blocking the entrance, of course, giving access only to those who know the password. The colors used make it kinda obvious, I feel, and there's some banners, couches and the fireplace in the back. To the left, the boys' dorm room with a pair of beds, a heating stove, and a box of all flavored jelly beans in there as well. Oh, and Hedwig is sitting there in a micro-balcony styled thing. Going up a floor, there's the rotating stairs that lead to Dumbledore's office that, despite the relatively small size, packs a lot of Harry Potter-related items and references besides his desk or a few more portraits on the walls. There's the Sorting Hat, the Pensieve, Gryffindor's Sword, and Fox, the Phoenix. Finally, at the top of the tower lies the Mirror of the Erised, with that cool reflective sticker showing Harry his family, or alternatively rotating it reveals him holding the Philosopher's Stone as seen in the end of the movie or book, depending on your preferred medium of choice. The stone itself is right above, as well as a spider and the sixth and last collectible portrait included in this set. I for one like this one a lot. It might be my favorite Hogwarts Castle set so far. The focus on the dungeon challenges is great to play out some of those scenes. The iconicness of the grand staircase was done relatively well here, even though it doesn't give me that sense of awe you get when watching the movies. The Gryffindor common room had to be done eventually, including the fat lady, so this section is great, as is Dumbledore's office. I do miss a classroom, but I guess that's what the other sets are for, though I do wonder how the theme will incorporate the Chamber of Secrets into the castle system. When it comes to pricing, Harry Potter is sadly becoming the new Star Wars indie block, as this 2100-piece Lego model will retail for $260. For comparison's sake, the Burrow, which wasn't that great a deal to begin with, is priced exactly the same, but does have 300 extra pieces. We do get a few extra minifigures and new pieces, but yeah, it's getting kinda rough across the board. With that said, if you're collecting the Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle sets, there's no chance you can skip this one, as it gives the castle one of its most iconic architectural features. You need to start planning for space though, as it stands, by the looks of it, this thing, when completed, will be massive. The LEGO Hogwarts Castle Herbology Class, while technically part of the castle build, is a detached building from the main structure, so it kinda works as its own thing, which is cool. As far as minifigures, there's 3 included, all Herbology Class ready, with Professor Sprout with that cool dual-molded headpiece with the earmuffs, and then Neville and Hermione on the student side of things. The greenhouse, while relatively small, looks okay, I guess, except for the fact that the sides are completely open, which doesn't make all that much sense when it comes to greenhouses, I think. The golden accents are quite nice though, with the umbrellas and Ninjago Dragon sword-hilt pieces, and I like how these trees are coming out of there from the top. Now, it's inside that most of the details are, and accessing them can be done by just opening the build like so, giving us a better look at everything. There's 2 small detachable sections as well, the most appealing to me, and probably Harry Potter fans alike, being the one with the mandrakes, where 3 pots house this brand new mandrake element. It would be fun if they had the screaming face printed instead of this regular looking one. Next to these, there's the watering can and an extra pair of muffs. The other detachable section has these items and pots in there. As for the rest of the greenhouse, there's a bunch of greens all around, some tools in the corner, and a bit of a water source with Neville's toad next to it, most likely. I still can't get over the fact that the greenhouse isn't completely enclosed, though I do like the fact that it feels rather easy to get a couple of these sets and extend the greenhouse by a lot to make it significantly larger. Price-wise, at almost 400 pieces and a $50 price point makes this one, once again, a bit expensive for what you get out of it. We still have a long way to go before seeing the end of this massive system, but some parts of the castle are beginning to take shape in a very nice way. The retail cost of it all will be insane though, at the moment, with all of the castle sets, classrooms and small extras like the Herbology Class or Hagrid's Hut, for instance, we're already looking at a 800 plus investment, so Yeah, gotta keep an eye out for deals and discounts, I feel. There's still a few more Harry Potter sets to cover in another video, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.